Hi friends, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. Now, first we're going to review. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake is 3 to 5 feet long. Your turn. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake is 3 to 5 feet long. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has what on its back, remember? A diamond shape. It does, all along the top, all along his back. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has a diamond pattern on its back. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has a rattle on its tail. One more time. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has a rattle on its tail. And then over here, do you remember what this one is? All along, they don't have hair or fur. They have scales. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has scales. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has scales. Let's talk about this. It's not any old tongue. It's a black forked tongue. It's nice and thin and long. And at the end, it kind of splits into two. So let's talk about this. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has a black forked tongue. Ooh, let's talk about this. All right, the words are up here. Here we go. The Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has a triangle head. We have one more blue word to look at. Do you remember what the picture was? Yeah, it's fangs. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has fangs. Your turn. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake has fangs. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is what they eat. Eat is in green. All right, so here we go. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. Look at right here. Rodents. Rodents. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake eats rodents. What else does it eat? There's a It also eats birds. Where does a Western Diamondback Rattlesnake live? In the forest. It sure does. And it's going to go down into a burrow. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake lives in a burrow. Your turn. A Western Diamondback Rattlesnake lives in a burrow. All right, friends, we're done reviewing for now, and now we're going to talk about what they can do and how they move. So a Western Diamondback Rattlesnake, I think we've talked about this a bit, and I know it's in our song. They're going to slither, and they make like an S and 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 an S. And, whoopsies, do we have a place for our terrific picture? Kind of right there. Okay. And I might have to move my slither word over here, though. S-L-I-T-H-E-R. So this is how they move, and they go back and forth and back and forth. And when you see an animal track of a Western Diamondback Rattlesnake, it's going to be on the ground, and it doesn't go up and down. It just keeps making a line that slithers. And the way they're able to slither is because on the top, we talked about they have some kind of triangular scales, but on the bottom, they actually have rectangular scales, and they use the muscles in their vertebrae, which is their back, and they'll use them together to make the S. They move so that they can move. All right, my friends, now we're going to talk about some interesting things about a Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. Well, they're a reptile, and most reptiles, they're going to lay eggs. Not the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. When they have their young are born alive. A-L-I-V-E. They're not going to lay eggs, so that's pretty unusual for a reptile. The other thing that I would like to talk about is something interesting, and these are our snakes in general. So, whoopsies, can you? Nope. Here, let me go up. Just a scooch. There you go. Okay. So up here, say unhinged. Unhinged. Okay, let me show you what that is with my hands. Okay, so our mouth, when I put my hands on the side of my mouth, I go, I could feel right here, they touch. And it allows me to open and close my mouth like this. You try it, right here. We have a hinge. We have something that connects the top and the bottom. Guess what? In our snake, the reason it's able to eat something that is so much bigger than its mouth is because it's unhinged. So their mouth doesn't do this. Their mouth opens up so they can eat it. So I'm going to draw a little bit of a snake body and a little bit of a snake body. There's its fangs. And we're just going to show that it so it opens it up so it can go into their body and they can digest the food and eat the food. So they have unhinged jaws. They have an unhinged jaw. So that's their jaw. This is your jaw right here. And yours goes like this. All right. We also have one more. I think it's super interesting about this Western Diamondback rattlesnake. They can tell where things are warmer and where things are colder. And this is very helpful because they are a cold-blooded animal. So, of course, when they need to warm up, they need to go in the sun. When it gets too hot, they need to go away from the sun. So they need to know what's hotter and what's colder. So that's very important. The other thing it allows them to do is if they can tell when there's animals around because they can sense it by the heat that the animal gives off. So you and we are a certain temperature, and animals are a certain temperature, but they'll know that it's a little bit different than maybe the ground. So they have something that tells them where the heat is. Like right now, can you think about, is it hotter in your front yard or your backyard? No, of course not. We're humans, and humans can't do that. But the Western Diamondback rattlesnake has a heat, HEATSENS. I might have to go back and fix this. Sensing pit. Heat. I think that's an S. I'll go back and I'll check my spelling. Okay, heat sensing pit. And they're on their face. And so they do have a nose, and it's not their nose. And they do have eyes, and it's not their eyes. It's kind of like right here on their face. So they have a heat sensing pit. Let me show you. I'm going to move this real quick and show you a picture. This is from our book, so make sure you check out the book as part of your reading. So there's their eye, there's their nose. Right here is their heat sensing pit. So it's on their face, and they can tell, is it hotter that way or hotter this way, or maybe in front or behind. And then the other thing that I wanted to share with you, and we talked about this a little bit already the last time we met for Western Diamondback rattlesnake, but each of these segments is made when the snake is getting bigger and it slithers out of its skin. Now it doesn't hurt it. That's when it gets bigger. It just leaves it behind. It just like kind of takes it off like a sock is what we described it before. So you can see how many times it's slithered out of its skin. And it's not a year thing. It's just when it gets bigger. So it has black and white, and then it has the rattle on the end. So this is actually the rattle. But this tells you how many skins it left behind. Okay, my friends, that's it for today. Have a great day.